Take a deep breath. God is here.
Father, in the quiet space where my breath feels shallow and my thoughts race ahead of my strength, I come to you as I am, carrying the weight I cannot name and the pressure that presses my chest like a storm without thunder. And I ask you to meet me here in this moment where fear whispers and peace feels distant, because you know how anxiety wraps itself around the heart and turns small worries into towering shadows, and you know how the mind replays tomorrow before today has even finished. So I sit before you without performance or pretense, letting the noise inside me speak honestly, trusting that your presence is not startled by my trembling or offended by my uncertainty. And as I breathe in your nearness, I remember that you are gentle with those who are overwhelmed, patient with those who feel stretched thin, steady when everything else feels unstable. And if my soul is tired from holding it all together, then let me place it softly into your hands right now, because you are not a distant observer of my struggle, but a compassionate Father who listens to every silent sigh. And even when my emotions feel tangled and my thoughts refuse to slow, you remain calm, attentive, and near, guiding my heart back towards still waters without force, without haste, without judgment, reminding me that I am not alone in this pressure, and that your peace begins its work long before my circumstances change. Father, as this weight lingers and the heart stays alert even when the body longs to rest, I feel how emotional pressure drains joy from ordinary moments and turns simple days into silent battles. Yet you see beneath the surface where smiles hide fatigue and strength is borrowed instead of real. And you understand how anxiety convinces the soul that it must stay vigilant or everything will fall apart. So I lean into your awareness of me and allow your truth to interrupt the endless scanning of threats, reminding me that you are already present in the moments I fear, already working in outcomes I cannot control, already holding what my hands are too tired to grip. And while my thoughts circle the same worries again and again, I remember that your voice does not rush or shout, but gently redirects, offering calm without demanding answers. And if my heart feels tight and restless right now, then let me breathe slowly with you and quietly hand over the fears I keep rehearsing. Because you are faithful to steady what trembles and to quiet what feels out of control, teaching my soul that safety is not found in constant alertness, but in trust. And even as the pressure remains, you begin reshaping my inner landscape, creating space where peace can grow without hurry, without force, without fear, continuing your gentle work within me. Father, beneath the surface of this calm I try to show, there is a quiet ache of exhaustion that you recognize instantly, because anxiety does not always shout, but often whispers, stretching the heart over time until it forgets what rest feels like. And you know how emotional pressure builds slowly through expectations, responsibilities, and unspoken fears that accumulate day after day. So I bring you the version of myself that feels worn down by being strong for too long, trusting that you do not measure my faith by how well I cope, but by how honestly I come. And as my mind keeps replaying scenarios I cannot fix, I remember that you are not asking me to solve tomorrow tonight, but to remain present with you now, where your grace is sufficient and your care is active. And if this moment feels heavy, then help me release even one small burden into your hands, because you never intended my heart to carry everything alone. And in this surrender, I sense you gently untangling my thoughts, slowing my breathing, and reminding my soul that pressure does not have the final word, that your peace is not fragile, and that even here, in the middle of this emotional weight, you are faithfully shaping a quieter, safer place within me. Father, when the mind refuses to slow and the night stretches longer than it should, you remain awake with me, watching over the thoughts that race and the fears that surface only when everything else goes quiet. And you know how anxiety steals rest by convincing the heart that vigilance is protection. that letting go is dangerous, that silence must be filled with worry. So I bring you these restless moments where my body is tired but my thoughts keep running, trusting that your presence does not depend on my ability to be calm. And as I sit here, I sense how gently you invite me out of self-defense and into trust, reminding me that I do not have to monitor every outcome to be safe, because you are already guarding what I cannot see. And if my heart feels uneasy right now, then allow me to pause and consciously place this moment into your care, knowing that you are faithful to carry what I release. And even as anxious thoughts try to pull me forward into imagined futures, you anchor me here with steady compassion, teaching my soul that rest is not the absence of problems, but the awareness of your nearness. And while nothing around me may have changed yet, something within me is beginning to soften, to loosen its grip, to remember that peace grows quietly under your watchful love.
Father, as the pressure of expectations settles on my chest, I realize how often anxiety grows from the fear of disappointing others, from the constant effort to meet demands while ignoring the quiet signals of my own limits. And you see how emotional weight accumulates when the heart feels responsible for everything and everyone. So I come to you, carrying the tension of trying to be enough, trusting that you do not define me by productivity or perfection, but by love. And as my thoughts replay moments where I feel behind or inadequate, I remember that your grace does not rush, and your approval is not earned through exhaustion. And if my spirit feels stretched thin right now, then help me gently release the need to prove myself and rest in the truth that I am already held, because you are faithful to meet me where I am rather than where I think I should be. And even as anxiety whispers that slowing down is failure, your presence assures me that care is not weakness and rest is not retreat. And in this awareness, you begin easing the pressure inside me, loosening the grip of self-imposed burdens, guiding my heart back toward a quieter confidence rooted not in performance but in belonging, where peace slowly finds room to breathe again. Father, when emotions rise without warning and the heart feels fragile under the weight of unseen strain, you understand how anxiety can make even small moments feel overwhelming, turning ordinary choices into sources of tension and simple conversations into internal battles. And you see how emotional pressure often hides behind composure while the soul quietly absorbs more than it should. So I bring you this vulnerability I rarely show, trusting that you are gentle with exposed places and careful with tired hearts. And as my thoughts jump from concern to concern, I remember that you are not impatient with my process but attentive to every step, offering steadiness instead of solutions, presence instead of pressure. And if my heart feels unsteady right now, then let me lean into your calm and allow myself to be supported rather than braced, because you are faithful to strengthen what feels weak without shaming it. And even as anxiety tries to convince me that I must hold myself together, your love reminds me that I am allowed to be held. And in this quiet exchange, you begin restoring balance inside me, teaching my emotions that they are safe in your care, slowly replacing tension with trust and pressure with a growing sense of peace that does not rush but gently unfolds. Father, there are moments when anxiety blurs the line between what is real and what is feared, when the heart reacts as if danger is near even while life appears calm on the outside, and you see how emotional pressure confuses the nervous system, keeping the soul alert long after the threat has passed. So I come to you with this constant sense of tension that feels disproportionate yet deeply real, trusting that you do not dismiss what overwhelms me just because others cannot see it. And as my body holds stress in places I did not choose, I remember that you created me with compassion and understand every response within me. And if my system feels locked in survival right now, then let me slowly rest in the truth that I am safe in your presence, because you are faithful to soothe what feels alarmed and to teach my heart how to relax without fear. And even as anxious habits resist stillness, your calm persistence remains.
inviting my breathing to deepen and my thoughts to soften, reminding my soul that peace is learned gently over time, and within this patient care, you continue rewiring my inner world, replacing constant vigilance with trust and emotional strain with the quiet reassurance that I am protected, seen, and steadily held by you. Father, as this inner tension lingers, I notice how anxiety often feeds on uncertainty, on unanswered questions and unfinished thoughts that circle endlessly in the mind. And you know how emotional pressure grows when clarity feels out of reach and the future feels unstable. So I bring you the discomfort of not knowing, trusting that you are not threatened by my questions or unsettled by my need for reassurance. And as my thoughts search for guarantees, I remember that your presence itself is a promise, steady even when answers are delayed. And if my heart feels uneasy in this waiting space right now, then help me place my trust, not in outcomes, but in you who remain constant through them all, because you are faithful to walk with me through uncertainty rather than rushing me past it. And even as anxiety urges me to predict and prepare for every possible outcome, your spirit gently teaches my soul to stay grounded in this moment where grace is sufficient. And in this quiet grounding, you begin loosening the grip of fear, replacing the need for control with a growing sense of security that does not depend on certainty, but on relationship, slowly anchoring my emotions in your unchanging care. Father, sometimes anxiety shows up as a constant hum beneath everything I do, a low noise of pressure that never fully turns off. And you see how emotional strain can become so familiar that it feels normal even when it is quietly draining the soul. So I come to you with this background weight I've learned to live with, trusting that you notice what I've stopped noticing and care about what I've learned to endure. And as I pause with you, I realize how often I move through life braced instead of open, guarded instead of at ease. And if this guardedness feels heavy right now, then help me gently lower my defenses and allow myself to feel your safety instead of anticipating harm. Because you are faithful to protect without requiring constant vigilance from my heart. And even as anxiety resists release, your patience remains steady, inviting me to experience peace not as something I must earn, but as something you freely give. And in this awareness, you begin softening the edges of my inner tension, teaching my soul that it is allowed to exist without constant pressure, to breathe without apology, to rest without fear, and to trust that your care surrounds me even in moments when I am no longer holding everything together. Father, there are days when emotional pressure makes me question my own strength, when anxiety whispers that I am falling behind or failing quietly. And you see how those thoughts sink deeper than I admit, shaping how I speak to myself and how I measure my worth. So I bring you this inner dialogue that has grown harsh and heavy, trusting that you hear not only my prayers but also the way I talk to my own heart. And as these thoughts repeat, I remember that your voice is not critical or demanding, but kind and steady, reminding me that my value is not reduced by struggle or defined by how well I hold myself together. And if my mind feels crowded with self-doubt right now, then help me pause and allow your truth to interrupt those patterns, because you are faithful to restore gentleness where pressure has hardened my thinking. And even as anxiety tries to convince me that I must do more to be worthy of peace, your presence assures me that I am already enough to be loved, already safe to rest, already known completely. And within this reassurance, you continue reshaping my inner world, softening the way I see myself, easing the emotional weight I carry, and guiding my heart toward a quieter confidence rooted in your unwavering care. Father, when anxiety tightens its grip during ordinary moments and turns simple tasks into heavy obligations, you notice how emotional pressure steals ease from daily life and replaces it with constant self-monitoring. And you understand how the soul grows tired from never fully relaxing into the present. So I come to you with this sense of heaviness that follows me through the day, trusting that you care about the quiet strain as much as the visible struggle. And as my thoughts jump ahead to what still needs to be done, I remember that you are present here with me now, offering steadiness without urgency and compassion without conditions. And if my heart feels hurried and compressed in this moment, then let me slow down with you and allow this breath to become a small sanctuary, because you are faithful to meet me in the ordinary and to restore peace in the spaces where anxiety tries to dominate, and even as pressure urges me to keep moving. Your presence gently anchors me, teaching my soul that life does not have to be survived moment by moment, but can be inhabited with trust. And within this anchoring, you continue easing the constant strain, replacing inner tension with a growing awareness that I am supported, accompanied, and never facing these moments alone. Father, as emotional pressure accumulates quietly over time, I notice how anxiety often comes from carrying responsibility without relief, from feeling like everything depends on my awareness, my effort, my endurance, and you see how heavy that feels even when no one else notices. So I bring you this burden of constant responsibility that sits on my shoulders and tightens my chest, trusting that you never asked my heart to be the source of its own security. And as I sit with you, I remember that you are already sustaining what I fear might collapse, already involved in what feels fragile, already attentive to details I feel compelled to manage. And if my heart feels tense right now, then help me loosen my grip and allow you to hold what I've been gripping too tightly, because you are faithful to carry what exhausts me without asking me to stay on alert. And even as anxiety resists surrender, your steady presence remains patient, inviting my soul into trust one layer at a time. And within this slow release, you continue lightening the emotional load, teaching my heart that shared weight feels different, that peace grows where responsibility is returned to you, and that I am allowed to rest even while life continues to move forward under your care. Father, there are moments when anxiety feels like a sudden wave, rising without warning and pulling my emotions under before I can steady myself. And you see how emotional pressure can overwhelm the senses, making the heart react faster than the mind can reason. So I come to you in this vulnerability where reactions feel stronger than intentions, trusting that you are not confused by my intensity or distant from my struggle. And as my emotions surge, I remember that you are constant, even when my inner world feels unpredictable, offering steadiness that does not fluctuate with my feelings. And if this wave feels heavy right now, then let me pause with you and allow your calm to meet me where I am, rather than forcing myself to push through, because you are faithful to help me regulate what feels unmanageable and to guide my heart back toward balance without pressure or shame. And even as anxiety tries to convince me that these moments define me, your presence reminds me that they are passing experiences, not permanent identities. And within this reassurance, you continue restoring equilibrium inside me, teaching my emotions that they can rise and fall without fear, and that beneath every wave there is a deep, steady peace held securely in you. Father, as anxiety lingers, I notice how emotional pressure often isolates the heart, making me feel as though no one else truly understands the depth of what I carry. And you see how loneliness can grow even in crowded spaces when the inner struggle feels invisible. So I bring you this quiet sense of being alone with my thoughts, trusting that you are present even where connection feels distant. And as my mind tells me I must handle this by myself, I remember that you draw near precisely when the heart feels unseen, offering companionship that does not require explanation. And if my soul feels isolated right now, then let me gently acknowledge your closeness and allow myself to be accompanied rather than self-contained, because you are faithful to sit with me in the weight of emotion without rushing me toward resolution. And even as anxiety tries to convince me that I am alone in this experience, Your presence reassures me that I am known completely and never abandoned. And within this awareness, you begin dissolving the quiet loneliness that pressure creates, replacing it with a sense of being held, understood, and deeply accompanied by a love that does not fade when words run out or strength feels thin. Father, when anxiety tightens around my thoughts and emotions feel compressed by everything left unsaid, you understand how pressure builds in the spaces where feelings are postponed and needs are minimized. And you see how often I keep moving to avoid slowing down with what hurts. So I come to you with this accumulation of unexpressed weight, trusting that you welcome honesty without requiring perfect words. And as I become aware of how much I've been holding inside, I remember that you create room for truth without judgment and patience for feelings that take time to surface. And if my heart feels crowded right now, then let me open one quiet space before you and allow what's heavy to be gently named, because you are faithful to receive what I finally release and to steady what trembles when it is seen. And even as anxiety resists vulnerability, your kindness remains constant, inviting my soul to exhale and my emotions to soften. And within this safe openness, you continue easing the internal pressure, teaching my heart that it does not have to stay guarded to be protected, and that peace grows when honesty is met by your compassionate care. Father, as emotional pressure persists, I notice how anxiety often distorts time, making the past feel unfinished and the future feel urgent, while the present becomes a narrow place to survive rather than a space to live. And you see how exhausting it is when the heart cannot settle into now. So I come to you with this restless sense of being pulled in every direction, trusting that you meet me in the tension between what was and what might be. And as my thoughts keep tugging me away from this moment, I remember that your grace arrives only here, steady and sufficient, not ahead of me or behind me. And if my mind feels scattered right now, then let me gather it gently in your presence and choose to stay with you in this breath, because you are faithful to anchor wandering thoughts and to calm the urgency that anxiety creates. And even as pressure insists that something must be fixed immediately, your patience teaches my soul that safety is not found in haste, but in awareness of you. And within this slowing, you continue reshaping my sense of time, easing the internal rush, and guiding my heart toward a steadier rhythm where peace is allowed to grow without being forced or earned. Father, as this journey continues, I notice how anxiety often makes my inner world feel unpredictable, as though my emotions could shift without warning, and stability feels fragile. And you see how emotional pressure creates fear of my own reactions, making me cautious of feelings instead of curious about them. So I come to you with this uncertainty about myself, trusting that you are steady even when I feel inconsistent. And as I reflect on moments where my emotions surprised me, I remember that you are not intimidated by my complexity or overwhelmed by my changing states, offering constancy that does not depend on my mood. And if my heart feels unsure of its own footing right now, then let me rest in the truth that your stability does not fluctuate with my emotions, because you are faithful to remain grounded when I feel unsettled, and to guide me gently through inner shifts without pressure to be fixed. And even as anxiety suggests that unpredictability is danger, your presence reframes it as part of being human and held. And within this reassurance, you continue building trust inside me, teaching my heart that it can experience emotion without fear, that change does not mean collapse, and that beneath every fluctuation, there is a firm foundation of care that quietly holds me steady. Father, when anxiety lingers for so long that it begins to feel like part of who I am, you see how emotional pressure can quietly shape identity, convincing the heart that tension is normal and peace is temporary. And you understand how discouraging it feels to wonder if calm will ever last. So I come to you with this fear that my struggle might be permanent, trusting that you are not limited by patterns or intimidated by duration, And as these thoughts surface, I remember that you work beneath awareness, gently and patiently, even when progress feels invisible. And if my heart feels weary of carrying this for so long right now, then let me place that weariness into your care and allow hope to breathe again, because you are faithful to bring renewal in ways that do not announce themselves loudly, but unfold steadily over time. And even as anxiety tries to define me by what I battle, your presence reminds me that I am defined by being held, not by what hurts. And within this reminder, you continue loosening the false permanence of fear, planting quiet confidence where discouragement once settled, and guiding my soul toward the truth that this pressure is a season, not a sentence, and that your peace is still patiently forming within me. Father, as emotional pressure ebbs and flows, I notice how anxiety often feeds the fear of losing control, whispering that if I loosen my grip even slightly, everything might unravel. And you see how exhausting it is to live in constant readiness, bracing for outcomes that have not yet arrived. So I come to you with this deep need to control what feels uncertain, trusting that you understand why my heart clings so tightly. And as I sit with you, I remember that you are already present in what I fear losing, already sustaining what I try to manage, already guarding what I cannot foresee. And if my hands feel tense right now, then help me open them slowly and experience what it means to trust rather than brace, because you are faithful to hold what I release and to remain steady where I feel vulnerable. And even as anxiety insists that control equals safety, your presence gently teaches my soul that surrender is not collapse, but relief. And within this learning, you continue easing the inner strain, quieting the urge to manage every detail, and guiding my heart toward a deeper assurance that life does not depend on my vigilance but on your constant, compassionate care. Father, when anxiety softens for a moment and then returns, I notice how hope can feel fragile, as though peace might slip away if I trust it too much. And you see how emotional pressure teaches the heart to stay cautious even when relief appears. So I come to you with this guarded hope, trusting that you are patient with a heart that has learned to protect itself. And as I sense calm approaching, I remember that you do not tease the soul with temporary comfort, but nurture peace that deepens gradually and stays. And if part of me feels hesitant to believe that rest can last right now, then let me lean gently into your faithfulness and allow hope to remain without defending against disappointment, because you are faithful to meet fear with consistency and to build trust through repetition rather than force. And even as anxiety watches for the next surge, your presence remains steady, inviting my heart to experience peace without conditions. And within this steady companionship, you continue strengthening my capacity to rest, teaching my soul that calm is not something to fear, losing but something to receive again and again, growing more familiar, more stable, and more rooted in you with each passing moment. Father, as I move through this space where anxiety no longer shouts but still lingers, I sense how emotional pressure can leave the heart cautious, scanning for signs that peace might disappear. And you see how even calm moments can carry a quiet tension when the soul has been strained for a long time. So I come to you with this in-between place where relief exists, but trust is still learning how to stay, trusting that you honor every stage of healing without rushing it. And as I notice how my body slowly responds to safety, I remember that you designed restoration to be gradual, not dramatic, gentle, rather than forceful. And if my heart feels hesitant to fully relax right now, then let me remain here with you and allow calm to deepen at its own pace, because you are faithful to build peace layer by layer, strengthening what feels fragile without demanding immediate confidence. And even as anxiety waits for another surge, your presence continues proving itself steady, moment by moment, teaching my soul that safety can be consistent, that rest does not have to be temporary, and that beneath the fading pressure, there is a growing stability forming quietly, patiently, held together by your unwavering care. Father, as peace begins to feel more familiar, I notice how anxiety sometimes resurfaces quietly through old habits of vigilance, subtle reminders of seasons when my heart had to stay alert to survive. And you see how emotional pressure leaves traces that take time to fade. So I come to you with this awareness that healing is not linear, and trust grows through repetition. Trusting that you are not discouraged by the slow undoing of fear. And as memories and sensations arise, I remember that you meet each one with patience rather than urgency, offering reassurance without demanding progress. And if my heart feels cautious right now, then let me stay present with you, instead of retreating into old defenses. Because you are faithful to remain near even when past patterns echo in the present, and even as anxiety tries to reclaim familiar ground. Your steady presence continues teaching my soul new responses, new rhythms, new ways of being safe, and within this ongoing care you gently strengthen my confidence, reminding me that peace does not vanish because fear remembers, and that every moment of trust, however small, is quietly reinforcing the safety you are faithfully building within me. Father, as I reflect on how far my heart has come, I notice how anxiety still tests the edges of this peace, as if checking whether it is real or temporary, and you see how emotional pressure can make the soul cautious about fully trusting relief. So I come to you with this careful awareness, trusting that you welcome even hesitant faith. And as I sit with you, I remember that you have been present through every stage of this journey, steady when I was overwhelmed, gentle when I was fragile, patient when I resisted rest. And if my heart feels uncertain about fully settling right now, then let me stay here with you a little longer and allow your consistency to speak louder than my doubts. Because you are faithful not only to bring peace, but to sustain it. And even as anxiety searches for reasons to return, your presence continues proving itself reliable, moment after moment. And within this reliability, you deepen my trust, teaching my soul that calm does not need to be defended, that safety does not need to be questioned, and that what you build within me is not fragile but rooted, steady, and lovingly held. Father, as this calm settles more deeply, I notice how anxiety sometimes resurfaces as a quiet question, asking whether I truly deserve this peace, or if it might be taken away without warning. And you see how emotional pressure can turn comfort into something the heart feels it must earn or protect. So I come to you with this lingering doubt, trusting that you give peace as a gift, not a reward. And as that question echoes, I remember that your love does not fluctuate with my performance or disappear when I struggle, remaining steady and generous. And if my heart feels unsure about fully receiving rest right now, then let me stay open before you and allow your kindness to reassure me without conditions, because you are faithful to give peace freely and to let it remain even when I question it. And even as anxiety tries to reintroduce fear through uncertainty, your presence gently affirms that I am welcome here, safe here, and allowed to rest without justification. And within this affirmation, you continue anchoring my soul, replacing lingering doubt with trust, softening the need to measure worthiness, and guiding my heart toward a deeper acceptance of the peace you patiently offer and lovingly sustain. Father, as emotional pressure loosens its hold, I notice how anxiety can still linger as a faint echo, not loud enough to overwhelm, but present enough to remind me of how deeply it once shaped my days. And you see how the heart can carry memory even when danger has passed. So I come to you with this quiet awareness, trusting that you are attentive not only to crises but to subtle remnants of fear. And as I sense these echoes, I remember that you do not rush the soul to forget, but gently teach it to feel safe again over time. And if part of me feels cautious right now, then let me stay near you, and allow this moment to be held without analysis or effort, because you are faithful to remain present long after the storm has faded, continuing your work where no one else sees it, and even as anxiety tries to quietly reassert itself, your steady care reassures my heart that it no longer needs to stay alert. And within this continued presence, you strengthen what is softened, reinforce what is healed, and guide my soul toward a lasting sense of peace that is no longer fragile but quietly resilient, growing deeper and more secure in your faithful, unwavering love. Father, as this prayer draws closer to stillness but not yet to its ending, I sense how anxiety has taught my heart to listen for trouble even in quiet moments. And you see how emotional pressure trains the soul to expect disruption, to wait for the next wave instead of resting in the calm that is already here. So I come to you with this learned vigilance, trusting that you are patient with habits formed in survival. And as I sit with you now, I remember that you are retraining my heart gently, not through force, but through repeated safety, steady presence, and unchanging care. And if my mind feels alert even while peace surrounds me right now, then let me remain here with you and allow calm to re-educate my nervous thoughts. Because you are faithful to teach rest the same way fear was learned, slowly, consistently, lovingly, and even as anxiety watches for reasons to return, your presence continues proving that peace can last, that quiet can be trusted, and that safety does not disappear without warning. And within this steady reassurance, you continue settling my inner world, aligning my thoughts, emotions, and body with the truth that I am not in danger here, that I am deeply cared for, and that your peace is becoming not just a moment but a way of being held in you. Father, in this final moment of this prayer, I rest in the awareness that you have been present through every breath, every tremor of anxiety, every layer of emotional pressure, and you remain here now, steady and unchanging, as my heart learns what safety truly feels like, and you see how far my soul has traveled from tension toward trust, from vigilance toward rest, not by force, but by your gentle companionship. And as I sit here, I recognize that peace is not the absence of feeling, but the presence of you within every feeling. And if my heart is ready right now, then let me remain open to your nearness and receive what you are already offering, because you are faithful to complete what you begin, to sustain what you calm, and to guard what you heal. And as this prayer settles, I ask that your peace would wrap softly around every anxious place within me, blessing my thoughts with clarity, my emotions with steadiness, my body with rest, and my spirit with quiet confidence. And may your comfort continue long after these words end, flowing gently into each moment ahead, covering me with reassurance, guiding me with kindness, and holding me in a peace that surpasses understanding, a peace that lingers, protects, and remains, now and always.
Breathe for a moment. God is here. He wants to hear you. If this touched your heart, subscribe for more.